Episode 4. The Adventure of the Clouded Kokoro.
I begin to think, Wilson, said Sholmes, turning his head languidly in my direction, that there is more to this case than that which we have observed. Indeed, that there may be another part to this story that we are yet to discover. His eyes wandered, following the steam rising from his cup of herbal tea, leading him to the distant memory of that snowy evening. To the young lady collapsed on the pavement along Briar Road, and to the knife in her back. Lit in the soft glow of gas lamps, a most extraordinary scene had been set. And under the cover of a light fog, the curtain had risen silently on the insoluble mystery of our invisible killer.
February, 9:47 a.m., British Superior Court, Lord Chief Justice Office. Did you sleep last night, Mr. Naruhodo? No, not at all. It was an enormous hotel, wasn't it? The rooms were so luxurious. Felt like we were staying in a palace. With all gas lights twinkling and it was brighter than day, even in the middle of night. What about the enormous beds? After my time on the SS Buria, I wasn't going to waste a single inch of that space. Spent the entire night rolling from side to side. From one side of the mattress to the other. Oh, yes! It really was the sort of night you can only dream of normally. Except... well, I learned that we owed £3 for the room. The dream quickly turned into a nightmare. Oops, sorry about that. The building was so impressive, the entrance was so inviting. I just wandered in without thinking. In a lodging house in Japan, this money would put a roof over your head. I tried, but I'm afraid I couldn't help my tears when we were presented with the bill. Really am sorry. Well, never mind. We must find some more affordable lodging straight away, though. If we're not careful, our entire stipend will be used up in 10 days or less. London is a scary place. Good morning. It's the hour. Oh, yes, well... Good morning to you, Lord Chief Justice. We've come to report on the outcome of the trial at the Old Bailey yesterday. Sato-san is amazing. She doesn't even bat an eyelid, even in the presence of the most imposing Lord Strongboard. Yes, I believe you had a very comprehensive initiation into British courtroom practices. Oh, yes, it was very eye-opening. Thank you. And, in accordance with your instructions, Lord Strongboard, Mr. Naruhodo performed his duty to the end. Yes, I've already been appraised of the events. You conducted a remarkable defense. You may consider the test passed. Oh? No longer are you a student from the Empire of Japan. You are henceforth claimed to be a fully fledged lawyer. My country is delighted to welcome young talent from such a remote eastern land. Thank you very much. So I'm a lawyer now? Now, in view of your new appointment, I have a fresh case in mind for you. I'd like you to take it on at once. I trust that won't be a problem. Another case? Already? Nothing trains a lawyer better than practice experience. I'm sure. I don't sense dissatisfaction, do I? Just that yesterday's trial ended unusually. I haven't quite come to terms with it. What's to come to terms with? The man was cleared. What more were you hoping for? Just didn't feel right. Like, there's so many unanswered questions from that case. Like, like, we don't even know who did it still. The culprit, the defendant, has not, at the present time, been established by this court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to prolong proffered judgment. Well, my lord Van Sakes, it's been a pleasure, so it has. And for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense. Just can't help wondering if Mr. McGill really was innocent. Mr. Naruhodo! It's just that I never managed to ascertain the truth. Then, the trial ended. Well, you need it not let it trouble you for a second longer. Sorry? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart? Magnus McGilded passed away immediately following the trial. So he was the person in there? He was the person in the... What? No! What? Mr. McGilded is... dead? I have 19 minutes and 41 seconds until my next engagement. Time enough to talk. But... I don't understand. What happened? How can he be dead? After the trial concluded yesterday, there was a great commotion in the Old Bailey. You presumably recall, an omnibus had been wheeled into the court. Yes, of course. That was the scene of the crime which Mr. McGilded had been accused of. Precisely. Well, while the bailiff's attention was diverted by some other matter, the omnibus went up in flames. How could such a thing have happened? That is being investigated as we speak, but already. The police have identified a corpse found inside the shattered shell of the carriage as that of Mr. McGill. Something tells me he's not actually the dead person. Something tells me the body got swapped or something. It's awful. The man must have slipped inside whilst the bailiff's attention was elsewhere. The bailiff really needs to pay more attention. And how could that have happened? That is also being investigated as we speak. Thinking back now, immediately after the trial, Mr. McGill did mention going back into the courtroom to look at the omnibus. Well, I must be taken to making tracks now. It is time for the inspection. Sorry? What inspection? They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself. An inspection of the omnibus? Not to my knowledge. I believe Scotland Yard I don't believe Scotland Yard had any intention of re-examining the carriage. But then who was Mr. McGill talking about? Never mind that now. The Yard is making a thorough investigation. The matter is no longer any concern of yours. Leave it to the police. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Or Mr. McGill did. So, how did you find the first taste of our country's Supreme Court? Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, it was... wow! Mr. Harlow means that the whole experience was seeped in solemnly of the Great Britain's long history. It's really a world apart from our own judicial system in Japan, which is only a few short decades old. Wow, so Sato-san has a way of words. And you seem to have a way of failing to find the right words. The judicial system here is the most advanced in the world. Learn all you can. advanced in the world, is it? It was fortunate that your very first trial was a simple affair. That was not simple. Simple? That was simple? As I believe I mentioned yesterday morning, it was a trial you couldn't lose. I don't mean to be contrary to smoke through, but that case was anything but simple. The circumstances of the case were so incriminating. I was stunned when I first heard them. In fact, I still find it hard to believe that we managed to get a favorable verdict. Is it something funny? No, my apologies. However, the fact is that you did receive the not guilty verdict you set out to achieve. That can only be attributed to an exceptional talent. Wouldn't you agree? Well, I don't know about that. Well, never mind. You exceeded my expectations, I freely admit. That much at least is an undeniable truth. Which is precisely why I have prepared the new case for you that I mentioned before. What's going on? What was he going to say before? Could you perhaps give us some more details about the new case you mentioned? Don't tell me it's a murder. The trial starts in 10 minutes. Don't worry. It's nothing so alarming or quite so urgent as your last assignment. In fact, this case is completely different. Oh, I see. Did you just read my mind? That is to say, no one has died, as yet. And the trial will not be today. There's plenty of time to research the case thoroughly. 23 minutes, and 19 seconds to be precise. So the trial's tomorrow. Is everything alright? Oh, yes. I was a little confused, that's all. Yesterday's trial was, well, it's left me wondering if I'm really cut out for being a lawyer. Oh, Mr. Naruhodo. I don't know if I could face standing in that courtroom again after Mr. Gilden's trial. Ah, yes, I nearly forgot. There's one similarity with yesterday's case. Once again, there's currently no one to advocate for the defense. Oh? The situation remains unchanged. The trial will start tomorrow with the defendant unrepresented. If that happens, I need not remind you of the inevitable outcome. The most terrible end awaits the defendant. Yes, that's right. Here we go again. It puts a lot more pressure on a lawyer when you know, like, if you fail, your client will be receiving capital punishment. Your time is up. You'll have to excuse me. I'd advise you to begin making preparations for tomorrow's trial. After all, the clock is ever ticking. There's now but 23 hours, 26 minutes, and 39 seconds until the court sits. Last time you mentioned 23 hours, and there was plenty of time. And one more thing, Mr. Naruhodo. There's something I should like to ask you. Oh, what's that? Yesterday, you remarked upon something. That you intended to see through the will of your late compatriot, Mr. Asogi. I'd be interested to hear what exactly you mean by that. Inside 34 seconds. Oh, well, Cosmo also uses... Cosmo used to always say that he wanted to learn how the greatest justice system in the world worked. He could change our to Japan. Now that he's gone, I'd like to work towards that myself. And there's another thing. Well, another thing. Continue. On the way here, on the steamship, he said something. There's something very important that I have to do. Something very important? And what exactly would that be? Never had a chance to tell me. I suppose he would have done if he ever been. You're out of time. Well, thank you for an enlightening discussion. Mr. Naruhodo, what's all this about? Sir Soki never once mentioned anything of the sort to me. I urge you both to focus your attentions on a matter at hand. I've taken the liberty of summoning in a police inspector in charge of the case. He'll be able to appraise you of the details. How long has he been there? So, wish you the best of luck, and bid you a farewell. And bye, Lord Strongheart. Something very important that I have to do. Kazuma, what did you mean? I wish I knew. Honestly, he never told me. Anyway, we're gonna talk to a detective, don't you think? Yes, you're right. So, imagine it. I wouldn't say he looks pleased to see us at all. Could we trouble you? What do you think? Well, lovely weather, isn't it? What's the weather got to do with it? Listen to me, you young Japanese upstart. Some debris about the weather doesn't get every English gent eaten out of your hand, you know. Sarusan told me it was foolproof. I'm a busy man, very busy man. There's a crime scene for escape, but I'm here having to give the likes of you a talking. Oh, I'm ever so sorry. Can you imagine what the other officers there would be saying? Haven't seen Greason anywhere, have you? No, he's too busy at the big wigs, he said. All because some bumpkin who's here on a jaunt from a country I've never heard of. Hear that whipping sound? That's my reputation at the yard going to 10. I don't believe we've been introduced. This is me, Mr. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, a defense lawyer. Huh? It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant. So, It's lovely weather we're having today, isn't it? Don't tell me it's gonna work just fine for her. It is unseasonably fine, I grant you. Land in winters don't see a lot of sunshine. Unbelievable! How did she pull that off? So, Lord Strongheart asked me to fill you in on the case. The name's Tobias Gregson. Inspector Gregson to you. I'm from Scotland Yard. Gregson? Inspector Gregson? What's the matter with Sasato-san? Is this detective's name means something? Inspector, are you perhaps the Inspector Gregson? Acting like you know this man, Mrs. Sato. But he's a London detective. Oh, I do know him. Very well, in fact. Very well? He is prominently an adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Oh, that publication. What's it called again? Rancid Magazine? That's right! Inspector Gregson and Mr. Sholmes enjoy a wonderfully friendly rivalry. Really? You rival the great Mr. Sholmes? That's incredible. Oh, well, I don't know about that. Mr. Sholmes isn't a professional like myself, of course, but he does come up with the goods time to time. Mr. Sholmes is equally complimentary about you, Inspector, isn't he? You earn his highest praise. Gregson is the pick of the bat of all the Scotland Yard guys. Those were his own words. That's his highest praise. Well, Mr. Sholmes is particularly known for giving compliments. That he is not. And thanks to that magazine, my name's known all over London town now. That's great, isn't it? I have to admit that at the start I was a little, well, flattered by all the attention. Everyone wanted to shake my hand, and my reputation at the yard went through the roof. Well, that's wonderful. No, it is not. There is nothing more sinister than the man on the street. People are always looking at me now. The whispering and rumors about me under their breath, I'm sure. Rumors? Are you quite sure? He's changed since he started appearing in those stories. His fame's gone to his head. Stuff like that. Gosh, you really think people are saying such mean-spirited things about you? Like I said, whispering. Can't catch exactly what they say, but I know what folks are like. I'm sure that's what they say. I'm sure it's eggs is eggs. Get the feeling a detective could be very hard work. Oh dear. Perhaps the sunrise to fame does change people. So, about the case that the Lord Chief Justice mentioned before. Nothing to tell, really. As far as we're concerned at the yard, it couldn't be simpler. Oh dear. That probably means, as far as we're concerned as lawyers, it couldn't be more complicated. I wish you were wrong about that. I have a nasty feeling you're right. A young woman was walking along the pavement on the Briar Road when she was stabbed from behind. Fortunately, it wasn't fatal, but she still laid up in the hospital, unconscious. That's despicable. What sort of coward would attack the poor woman from behind? Suppose you would have finished whoever it was officers and sought her takedown, would you? It's neither here nor there, Mr. Ho. Brace yourself, Ryuzensuke. Now you've injured her. Anyway, after something of a whirlwind investigation, the criminal was arrested. Barely had time for a cup of tea after the incident took place, to be honest. So there must have been something left at the scene that led you directly to the culprit. Or perhaps a reliable witness who recognized the person in question. Let me stop you right there. You're wasting your time on this one. Sorry. There's nothing you can do. There's no way you can help the bloke now. Why ever not? Simple. The prosecutor has been assigned to trial Lord Barak van Zeeks. No! Sounds like you've heard of him then. Oh yes, we're very familiar with Lord Van Zeeks. Believed to the harbinger of death itself. The Reaper of the Faith. Lord Barak van Zeeks faced in court only yesterday. And we won, so he's not fully successful. But Mr. Miguel told us about him before the trial, didn't he? Van Zeeks stands at the prosecution. They call him accused sacrifice of lambs. And in every single trial in which he had been the prosecutor, the accused had been damned. The Reaper of the Bailey's nickname. I suppose he earned that because of every defendant he advocates against is found guilty. Is that it? Well, ever since before yesterday. Well, if that's the case, we should inform you, Inspector, that in yesterday's trial against Lord Van Zeeks, Mr. Naruhodo secured a verdict of not guilty. And what does that? What of it? Oh, well, I think that means even against the Reaper of the Billy, it's not impossible to save the defendant. No, you really don't have a clue, do you? What do you mean? What happens to the bloke in the end, okay? He's dead. Ah. Mr. McGillen became a copper in that omnibus when he went up in flames. You can't rightly say that you saved the defendant, can you? Okay. The omnibus, as far as I know, the omnibus going up in flames was unrelated to anything that we know of, like directly pertaining to the trial. So, explain to me how, like, we saved him from the verdict. It's not like we were responsible for him after that. What? What are you saying? Look, if Von Zieks could get the dirt on the stick on everyone, he'd be a miracle worker. But that's not how it goes. He doesn't work magic. He works magic. Black magic. I'd have a good long think about that, Fabio. Are we really supposed to believe that? Right. Well, I filled you in as requested, and I'm very nearly out of chips. I'll be heading back to the crime scene now. We're still carrying out a few investigations. Briar Road, you say, where the incident took place? That's correct, Mom. And if you head over to the holding cells, you can meet the criminal himself. You bring him a criminal already? He's as good as shaking like a leaf in his cell he is. He'll give you a clunk of nothing else. He's inmate 53. Speak to the jailer and he'll show you the way. Inmate 53. Thank you. So there's no one helping there's no helping anyone against the Reaper of the Baileys, they say? Is something troubling you, Mr. Naruhodo? To tell the truth, when I recall the trial yesterday, I can't stop myself from shaking. The idea of facing a Reaper in court again is... Well, if you think it's too much for you, there's no shame in turning the case down. That case hurts too. But the man they've arrested is innocent. You can imagine he'd be shaking like a leaf in his cell. And I, for one, wouldn't find that sight funny. So, if I'm honest, I'm still reeling from shock of yesterday's defense myself. And I'm really not sure if I'll be able to help this man, whoever he is. But I'd like to try, so I think I'm gonna make some inquiries. Will you help? Did you really think you had to ask? After all, I'm your judicial assistant. Thank you. So then, shall we? Yes! Let's go! Next February, local prison, cell 9. So these are British prison cells. Oh, the ghastly. Feels like a dungeon. Yes. Haven't experienced it in Japan myself. I can assure you that our wooden cells feel a lot cozier than these cold stone walls. Oh, don't, Mr. Naruhodo? Apparently, the client is in this cell here. It's so dark and back there, can't make him out. Wonder what he's like. Inmate 53. Your legal representatives are here to see you. Stop hiding in the back of the cell and show your face at once. Am I? Am I a cat, as yet with no name? By calling me a number, it's utterly unbelievable, unjustly unreasonable. I refuse to answer. You just answered, though. Mr. Naruhodo, what? What do you think is going on here? I have no idea. But I wasn't just hearing things, was I? Tirade of complaints was in Japanese. hiding. I know they are. They're watching, listening, even now. I can sense it. Right, so, could I ask you? There you are! You can't accuse me! Have you? Don't try to hide it. You're a ghost. A ghost? You mean you no harm, prisoner-san? Are you Japanese, by any chance? This is beyond my wildest dreams. Oh no. Forgive me for the atmosphere. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's fine. We're just a little surprised, that's all. Imagine it! It's been 12 long months since I left my hometown. And here I am, in a frightful fix in the foreign land. So hearing sweet, sentimental tones of compatriot's voice, this damn dark haired was most moving moment. Who could have guessed that the new client, Lord Strongheart, assigned us turned out to be a fellow Japanese. What compassion my fellow countrymen show. To dispatch a first-class lawyer and all the way from Japan to defend a mere foreign student. Wait. First lawyer all the way to defend a mere foreign student. Wait. Noble, never failing Nippon. For a first-class lawyer? Oh dear. I think there's something of a misunderstanding here. I wonder, would you be so kind as to tell us what happened? Been detained as a suspect, for example. Yes, again, I will. Stop, stay, silent, and silent. Not quite sure I understand what he means, but he seems happy. Yes, he does. So that is a good reason to. Thank you for your cooperation. I am a lawyer, as you said. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. And I'm Naruhodo-san's judicial assistant, Susato Mikotoba. I am a visiting student sent here by our government. Nobody named Natsume Suseki Natsume. Soseki Natsume-san. What an unusual name. Call me Soseki, please. I am a poet. You see? Writer of haiku. Such of a nom de plume. Nom de plume? You mean your alias? That's right. No. Don't become aggressive. I am much more refined than that. And haiku? Really reminds me of home. Did I hear you say that you are a visiting student sent over here by the government? Yes, that's right. A year ago, I was told to go and study English. First I had to suffer that misery, and now this is beyond pale. Suffer that misery? Do you not want to study here? No, I mean, I've had an interest in Great Britain for some time. Yes, of course. But just because the government tells you to do something doesn't mean you can't do it. No? What do you mean? They told me to study English literature that I could have understood. That's my field. No, they told me to study the English language. Utterly unreasonable, unjust, unreasonable. I see. Only the other day, I was told to send a report about my first year here. I tendered a blank piece of paper. Wise words on white washing. You must be a man of great standing. Oh, yes. So I'm often told. And often, like told to be told, it seems. Could you perhaps tell us exactly why you've been arrested, Suseki-san? I didn't do it. I did not commit the atrocious murder. Murder? Oh, no, it's alright. The woman didn't actually die, did she? But she was stabbed with a knife right before my eyes. Before your eyes? You mean you saw the attack? I didn't see anyone. What? If I'd seen it, who did it? Do you think I'd be locked up in here? Oh dear. It seems this case is becoming rather complicated. Why me? Why me? Why did that silly woman have to be stabbed in front of me? The curse of London is terribly, inexcusable, irritating, inconvenient. Let's get it away. So Soseki-san was there at the scene, but he didn't see the attack. It's vital that we find out more about this case. It was an accursed evening, just after the snow had started to clear from the heavy fall. I'd been to the bookshop to buy some books, and I was on my way home when to my accursed lodgings. Sure, the bookshop wasn't accursed. I was walking along the accursed pavement, and I get out the sole silhouette of another head of her. A woman, wearing a green overcoat she was. Just as I went to overtake her, she suddenly let out a scream and collapsed onto the cold slabs of stone of the feet. How terrible. I got out to the woman, but she didn't move. It was like a ghostly, ghoulish, grim graveyard. Slight exaggeration there. I was terrified. I had to get away from her. So I ran. I ran as fast as my legs would carry me back to my accursed lodgings. That's not good. It was shameful, I know, to run away like that. Tell me, Soseki-san, was the victim an acquaintance of yours? Don't be ridiculous. You think I know any of these fair-haired English, and a young woman of that? I'm different, shy, timid, unsure. I can't talk to people. Let's see. Young woman, unknown to Soseki. And at the time it happened, who else did you see nearby? Did anybody pass you? Regrettably, apart from myself and the woman, I didn't see the soul. No one? Oh, great. So the victim was unknown to you. There was nobody else in the street at the time. The creature's a something. It creates something of a conundrum, does it? A conundrum. What do you mean, Sub-Sun? What's the conundrum? Well, if what Soseki-san has just told us is the truth, there's something I can't explain. He says that he didn't know the victim, that there was no one else at the scene. Then, apparently he fled without having been seen. I did! But if that's the case, surely this man has to be the culprit. You! What did you just say? Nothing. I didn't say anything. Oops. Perhaps I said a little loudly. Actually, that's not what was troubling me. What was thinking was, how does Soseki-san actually come to be arrested? Good point. If he didn't see anybody and he wasn't seen fleeing, how did they find him? Probably the footprints in the snow or something. Sorry. He didn't touch the victim, and there was nobody at the scene to see him. So how did the police ever discover that he was there in the first place? Oh, yes, she's right. It was him. The great detective. He led the police to me. Let's talk about Erlock. Oh, the bad luck. Because great detective. Could it accursed? Great detective? Could it be Erlock Sholmes? I shall never forget that man's name as long as I live. His ugly laugh and his self-proclaimed greatness. Rash, big-headed, what's busybody? May he be cursed until the end of your days. Erlock Sholmes! I knew it. Mr. Sholmes. Well, didn't expect to hear that name from this man, that's for sure. Just the morning after the nightmare unfolded with the patient at the floor. I was gnawing on a silver hot cheese when some men suddenly burst through the door. They started shouting at me. This is the police. Put the weapon down. I was thin shiver, and yes, it was hot, but I... Disgusting. Diet... Discrimination. Devils. You clearly had to try in the morning business. There he was, in the middle of us policemen, grinning like a chested cat. It's Erlock Sholmes! It's actually Erlock Sholmes. He's English. I've since found out that he's a famous name in detection here at London. Yes, the Great Detective is really well known around. The overly sharp mind managed to deduce my whereabouts apparently. He thinks I'm a knife-wielding madman. Me, the weak, stupid kitten of a man. I wonder what great deductive process has led him to this conclusion this time. You mean to say Mr. Sholmes' deduction was the only reason the police arrested me? That would be really most unreasonable. Well, thing is, I was thrown into panic when they barged into my pit. Of course you were. I was terrified and trembling, and I kept throwing questions after questions in impossible English. Finish, furnish, inflammatory! Well, we are in England. Can't really blame them for questioning English. Good point. But my mind went blank. I knew I had to answer, but I didn't know what to say. So I kept repeating things like, yes I do, and I'm fine. Next thing I knew, I was in Chronicles. Before I knew it, I was thrown in here. Dear, I'm afraid that's hardly surprising. I'm fine. It's not fine now. Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire. Or you can just call me Naruhodo. And when were you speaking English? Simple Mister is more than yes. They really got to me. This country is poisoning my mind. But please, I beg you to defend me in court tomorrow. You can tell them what really happened. You'll do it, won't you? Well, Why is it so hard to say yes to me? Well, the thing is, I'm just a student like yourself, on a study tour. A student? I have defended a case in the Old Bailey. Only one, though. But at this moment in time, I really don't know what I'm supposed to believe in. I'm confused about what justice in this country even means. Oh, Naruhodo-san. I've been a foreign student who was supposed to be here. I'm sort of a locum lawyer, I suppose. But that armband is the mark of a defense lawyer from your great empire. It's a keepsake from the man who should have been here. He was my best friend. A keepsake? A keepsake? I know exactly what they're saying about me. The lawyers, all the British defense lawyers, they won't defend me. Goodness, why would you say that? For the same reason as you noted before, when it happened. There was only the victim and myself around, and I ran away from the scene of the crime. I'm not a fool. I know how it looks, so I must be the culprit. It must be very hard for you, Saseki-san. I'm a student from overseas. I'm just a foreign nobody to them. Someone not to be trusted. I heard them openly laugh about me before. In earshot. My earshot. Was that any compulsion at all? Any trial for this man would be a waste of time, they said. And of course the foreigner did it. They even had to go to say, the man doesn't understand half of what's been said anyway. That's awful. They're wrong. I've studied more English than half of the policemen out there in the streets. I've traveled halfway around the world to learn about these people's country and its great history. But no one here wants to listen to our man with a strange accent. They all hate me. So, at the very least, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who can listen to me in my native tongue. You could do it, couldn't you? When I look into your eyes, I can see it. I can see what you've been through. Soseki-san, it's just that. Give me a little time, please. I'll do what I can for the time being. What do you mean? We shall investigate the case as thoroughly as possible. If we can find some clues, it will give us a much better chance, I'm sure. Oh, yes. Yes, thank you. I'll be here, all alone, waiting for you. Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. We should be going then, Mr. Naruhodo. Naruhodo-san. We have a case to prepare for it. A road. Pose is funny. Ah, look, Mr. Naruhodo. Look at that regulation metal helmet. It's unmistakable. Miss Scotland Yard is here. They're investigating as we speak. That's their job, you know. But Mr. Naruhodo, to see one with my own eyes? They're often depicted in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, but I never dreamt to ever come this close. To a real Bobby's helmet? What? The helmet? Of course. I have to try one on one day. Yep, Scotland Yard's the police. Well, I hope your hatty dream comes true. Ah! What's the Japanese delegation doing here? Oh! Inspector Gregson. This isn't on a tourist trail. I'm fairly sure you're well aware. Yes, of course. We're here to investigate. You've been to the holding cell. What do you make of the criminal? not a criminal as you put it, Inspector. He's a suspect. We'll see about that. Japanese like to stick together, I suppose. Well, do what you will. It doesn't bother me. The blokes in the court tomorrow, whatever happens. The verdict's a foreign conclusion. Stone cold error for judge. Take heart. London at this time of year is full of stone cold air. Yeah, the fries do look good. Where is it? Video space. So animal attacker could have been hiding. Behind us. Oi, what are you foreigners doing here? Oh, well, just investigating the officer. Conspiring with that mustache fella from Japan, are ya? Conspiring? Come here to destroy evidence, have ya? Get out of here before I give you an ending. Go on! How rude. Shoot us away like rats. Yes, should give him a wide berth of faith. Disappointing experience. So the officer of Scotland Yard. The police are making sure the crime is undisturbed. Feel that if we wander too close, we'll be clapped in irons. Seems perhaps you're being a little overcautious. But nothing wrong, so we have no cause for concern. Oh no, I'm not getting caught out again. Twice, isn't it? Twice I found myself in handcuffs despite not knowing a thing about what was going on. Yeah, 100% could have hidden behind this. What a delightful snowman. Or the English had a tradition of making snowmen as well. Looks a little creepy. Oh, that's a scarf, look. You need one if you were out in this freezing cold after all this time. Wish I had. The radar budget is somewhat frozen at the moment, too. We certainly can't afford a scarf. Surely there's someone here wouldn't have missed this. If we paid a moment, certainly would. Yes, I know. Right. Anyway. Even if I borrowed it, it wouldn't do much to warm my neck, would it? It's covered in snow. Oh, that's a Scotland Yard carriage. These vehicles like us to rush to crime scenes and cart away criminals. You're very well informed. It's long been a dream of mine to ride one of those through the streets of London. Well, just pick up a stone and throw it through one of the windows then. That would mean being arrested in order to ride it. Wouldn't it? Yep. Still, if it's the only way. Please help me find a good stone. Oh no, I wasn't serious. Oh, British bicycle. Look. The wheel is mishappened. I'm sure it couldn't possibly be good. Someone must have been doing some breakneck cycling. Since bicycle has become extremely popular in London. There's even a movement to change women's dresses to allow them to ride them as well. Bicycle fad won't last. So what anyone would want to ride something like that. Goodness, do you just like bicycles? No, not at all. I mean, it's not like I dislike them exactly. Such that any occupation that involves taking both your feet off of firm ground seems reckless. Have you ever tried walking on stilts and fallen into a river? I know you'd agree with me. Well, I'll have to hire a bicycle sometime. Sit behind me while I ride you around. adventure has a long and interesting history. It certainly seems to have taken a toll on me. It's crooked and sagging all over. It looks slightly worse shaped than the other houses around. So we can keep lodgings ourselves as soon as possible. Yes, you're right. Keep, but ideally with a reasonable level. Look at the windows of that building. Are you sure they're windows? Yes, they're all filled with bricks. Oh, you're right. Wonder why. There's smoke coming from the chimney, though. Here, everything feels foreign. There's so much we have to learn about this place. Clouds look so big and heavy in the sky, don't they? There's dense fog as well. Everything looks hazy. Well, I know it as foggy as London town. I can just make out some sort of spires through the fog. It does look like it's still being built, though. Ah, yes! That must be the Crystal Tower. The great exhibition that's to be open in 6 months' time. It's going to be very striking to gaze on all sides in symbolic centerpiece in the This would be the largest exposition in history, isn't it? Piles of snow on the pavement here and there. But the road itself is covered in carriage tracks. Carriage often travel down by the road. It soon disappears. All the stuff slipped over when I was walking down the pavement road. So it would be far safer to walk on. Seems like it would be far safer to walk on the road instead. But you're rather small, Mr. Naruto, all dressed in black. And where a cook might not see you, you could be flattened by horses. Well, thank you for the rather small concern. Alright, I think I've investigated everything. Alright, let's talk to the detective. Tell me about Scotland Yard, Inspector. Ever since I read about the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, I've been fascinated by the place. The Yard. It's the most sophisticated police and organization you'll find anywhere in the world. Oh? And you know, I've always dreamt of wearing a real Bobby's helmet. That just to make them look the part, seeing that policeman there with a helmet. Certainly gets the sense that this man is take no nonsense in his duty protecting the city. Oh yes! Doesn't he look wonderful? Reading a line of Bobby is hot going, I can tell you. Oh really? First thing in the morning, you know what he does? He goes around and rouses all the laborers on his beat so they can get off to work. What? He wakes people up? Yep. Raps on the windows with a long pole, doing it myself going back a bit. Did it myself going back a bit. I had no idea. Bobby works for the people of the town. It's just another one of his duties. After that, he starts tirelessly patrolling the streets all day long. He has to cover 20 miles a day. That's a regular distance. I'm really mad at how far that is, but it sounds like a long way. No, he used miles, not kilometers, even though in London they use kilometers. Just thought I'd point that out. Let me see. 20 miles. It's approximately the distance from Tokyo to Yokohama. On foot? That's definitely taking things a step too far. When it gets dark, of course, he has the important job of lighting all the gas street lamps. Oh my. And I suppose in all the duties, Bobbies are expected to investigate cases as well. Chase after criminals trying to evade the law. I'm not sure you can call it in between, exactly. More alongside, but yes. They're expected to handle those jobs as well. Do have men keeling over from time to time, I admit. I always dreamt of wearing one of those helmets, as I said. But it was a heavy heart, that I should have to relinquish that dream to you, Mr. Naruhodo. Your heavy heart will be my heavy head if you do. Happened around 5 in the evening 2 days ago, just there on that open bit of pavement. The victim, a young woman, was stabbed with a blade from behind. Is that right? The lady is still unconscious now? You mentioned that she's being treated in hospital. I never said she was a lady. Truth is, unless she comes around pretty smartish, you would not be able to find out that much about her at all. So it's when she has been able to take the statement from her. Here's a map of this local area I have happened to have on me. You take it with you. Really? Are you serious? It's yard policy to give lawyers defending the suspects an odd bit of information to go on. I will accept the job yet, but still. Thank you, Inspector. Gratefully accept. Anyway, hold on. Let me look at this. So remember, we got Meerschaum, Calabash Road. I wonder if this is an actual intersection in London. I'll have to check later. I don't feel like checking it out. As far as we know, there was no one else at the scene other than the victim and your fellow countrymen. So who did it, do you think? Not much of a head scratcher, is it? Huh, I know Mr. Natsume is also claiming to not have seen anyone else around, but just because he didn't see anyone doesn't mean we can't be sure that nobody else was present. Sorry to have to tell you, we can most certainly be sure. How? Because the precise moment of stabbing didn't go unnoticed. What? We have 2 very reliable witnesses, no less. Huh? Typical final case on today. Your client obviously didn't see them. There were witnesses now? Who are these witnesses, Inspector? A fellow and his wife. And the man's of one of the most reliable and respected citizens of all of England. He's a copper from Scotland Yard. Oh, snap. He's a cop. A policeman? That might change things. This policeman just happened to be there at the exact moment the woman was attacked. Peculiar about that. Part and parcel of the being a Bobby. Do you think it might be possible for us to ask that policeman a few questions? Be my guest? You could ask him what you like. Of court tomorrow. Oh. I've no doubt he'll be summoned as a witness. So I'll give you something to look forward to. That's that then. He's got no intention of letting us be familiar beforehand. A policeman witnessed the incident. As your judicial assistant, I must warn you that it could make our job very difficult indeed. Yes, as a non-judicial assistant, I could have warned of that too. Oh yes, one more thing, Inspector. What? The person who led you to the suspect. Heard that it was Earl Jones. What are you bringing him up for? Is that something I said? The color drained from his cheeks. A twitchy Japanese bloke on trial tomorrow. Are you going to defend him or not? Well, makes no difference to me. But I will just say this. No lighted lawyer was his salt who touched that case was a marriage because of the prosecution being handled by the Reaper of Bailey, you mean? There's no way to save that man now. It's a waste of time trying. It's all a bit strange, so sorry. Reaper. He hasn't appeared in court once for a good few years. Yes, we did hear something to that effect. The only people that he usually bothers with are the real scum, the master criminals, the violent ones. Master criminals? The violent ones? That's right. He handpicks his victims, only deals with those guaranteed to go to the gallows for their sin. But Mr. Natsume wouldn't hang for what he's accused of, surely. That's just my point, sunshine. Yes, the young woman was stabbed, but it didn't kill her. I couldn't even say that intent was there. This isn't the sort of case I'd be expected to read or to want to sink its teeth into for what better fits. It's not exactly a minor infraction, then. No, there's got to be more to it. Some reason he's taking the case an interest. Really? What sort of reason, Inspector? Think I can tell what's going on inside the head of that Lord of Darkness? You'll have to ask him yourself at tomorrow's trial. We're really gonna have to face the Reaper again? Lord of Darkness, as he puts it? Who did you hear that name from? Oh, well, so Mr. Natsume. Who mentioned it? He said that Mr. Sholmes was with the police when they entered his lodgings. I'm sure it was the result of one of Mr. Sholmes' inspirational great deductions. Fiddle fact! That man's an amateur, and I'm getting sick and tired of him showing his mug everywhere. I don't know where he gets his information from, but he turns up at the scenes of the crime. Wanders around spouting incomprehensible rubbish, and before you know it, he claims to have solved the case. Yes, he's quite astounding, isn't he? He's a great help to stop me, though, isn't he? Gibble gabble! Ever seen this before? Yes, we've seen it. Printed Max. It's a wonderful publication with the adventures of Sherlock Holmes appears. Yes, well that wonderful publication, as you put it, sees fit to include several of the Yard's detectives in its stories. And the so-called Great Detective makes a mockery of all of us. Rather than anyone at the Yard, it's a misadventure to be included in any Sherlock Holmes tale that I suppose there is an element to that. We work our socks off, every one of us, only to be thumped by the public thanks to that obnoxious detective. The man is dangerous to us at Scotland Yard, as he is to all our criminals. Can't really be true. Can it, Inspector? Clearly, as a great detective and police have a complex relationship. Well, I don't think we're gonna get any more useful information out of the detective. Mr. Naruhodo, can I make a suggestion? Oh, yes. What is it? Well, it seems to me that we must speak with him about this. By him, do you mean Mr. Sholmes? Yes, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes. Exactly. Look at those shining eyes. Can't wait, can you? Well, Mr. Natsume did blame Mr. Sholmes for all this, didn't he? Yes, he did. He really did. This makes him an involved party in the case. Are you just going to ignore that? I hope not. I assure you, it's not simply my selfish desire to meet Mr. Sholmes. Trouble is, we have no idea of the man's address. So it's Baker Street. How do you know that? It's in the stories, of course. 221B Baker Street, the most famous address in the world. Oh, I see. Well, there's nothing to stop us from going, I suppose. We better try to find we're there before the Sato Sun gets any more excited and unpredictable. Hurrah! I'll summon a carriage. So we'll have a reunion already. It's a great detective, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes.